Welcome everybody, welcome. Colin Gray from the Rockin' and Rollin' Gray Brothers here with you today, and it's time for another edition of the Australian Rock Show podcast. This is episode number 37, and today is Saturday the 5th of September 2015 when this show is being recorded. New shows every week at australianrockshow.com, iTunes, TuneIn Radio and Stitcher. On episode 31 of the Australian Rock Show, we dusted off the cassette player and unearthed some never-before-heard live recordings pulled from our own personal archives. If you tuned into that episode, you got to hear rare live recordings from Stevie Wright and Rose Tattoo, Pete Wells, The Radiators, The Hitmen with Dennis Tech, X, The Bombers, and Nick Buck and The Reptiles. The premise for the show is quite simple. I saw hundreds of bands over the years, and on many of these occasions I was armed with my trusty handheld tape recorder to capture these gigs. Why? Well, recording the gig was a way in which I could have a memento of the show and something I could re-listen to anytime I wanted, much like the Australian Rock Show. Yet, all these years later, these hundreds of cassettes are more than just keepsakes. These recordings serve as historical audio documents that represent a time, a place, and a period that no longer exist. Many of these bands whom I recorded no longer exist, and some never ever released product, which makes many of these recordings invaluable. So, on this segment of the Australian Rock Show, which we've called Tapes Alive, I press rewind on the cassette player and share with you some very cool rock and roll memories of mine. These are all my own personal recordings, and none of these have ever seen the light of day in any way, shape or form. Before we get into it though, I just want to remind you that if you are enjoying the Australian Rock Show, we do need your support. The best way you can support us is to go to the homepage, click on the donate button and send us $5. It's a direct way to help us keep the doors open. We'll also play you a song of your choice. As I've mentioned before, there's plenty of people who buy a cup of coffee and a muffin every day for $5 and think nothing of it. And yet that only lasts a few minutes. All episodes of the Australian Rock Show you get to keep and listen to forever. I think you get my point. We need to cover our hosting costs and production costs, and your contribution goes a long way to helping us out so we can continue with the cool shows and to keep the show free. Another way to support us is by purchasing some merchandise from our affiliates. You want to look cool, stand out from the crowd, or wear an Australian Rock Show t-shirt with 5 or 6 different designs, including a cool design featuring Pete and Mick from Rose Tattoo. Say it loud and proud for only $20. Also remember, if you're going to buy books or CDs or DVDs or anything, in fact, buy it from fishpond.com, who have an amazing price matching policy. You simply got to go to the Australian Rock Show homepage, click on the Fishpond banner at the bottom of the page, which will take you right through to their store. It's real simple. Won't cost you a cent anymore. You get your item at a great price with free shipping, and we get a little kickback. And that also goes a long way to helping us out. All right, that's enough business. Let's get on to the show. We've got about 8 different live recordings we're going to play for you today, and I thought we'd kick things off with the Divinyls featuring the late great Chrissy Amphlett. Now we're going to play a tune which was recorded from Christmas Eve, 24th of December 1988. The venue is the Ermington Hotel in Sydney in New South Wales, and we're going to cut to the Divinyls now. The tune is Better Days.